Hello everybody, and welcome back to Prometheus. Today, as always, we got some work to do. Now, I came up here on the roof because I'm toying with the idea of what I want to do in terms of building a greenhouse. So, we are finally going to upgrade from our little farm plot down there into something a lot more serious. And what I think I'm going to actually do is I initially had that idea of maybe we build up on top of our base, our farm plot. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to build our greenhouse right up here on the second floor of our base. And we're going to try and make use of the beehive and make sort of a 3-layered greenhouse here. So that way we can have the one single beehive sort of in the middle layer, buffing all of the crops beneath it and all of the crops above it, so we can get the absolute maximum bonus from a single beehive going in our greenhouse up here. So I think that's going to be our plan as far as the greenhouse goes. And since we did have that meteor shower event just recently, I also want to take this chance to go back out into the world, check out a lot of the old caves that we have already explored out in the Arctic, out here in the grasslands, and just see if we can snag some more exotics that may have respawned, just some normal purple exotics that may have respawned from that meteor shower. And my plan with that is, I'm not sure exactly what's going to be coming with Leica, but we want to be completely stacked on purple exotics at least, and that way we can build our way up to a lot more Ren, so we can sell some of our purple exotics into Ren. So I think that's the plan. As far as handling our Ren shortage goes, is let's go ahead and do that, get a bunch of purple exotics, and also get to work on this beautiful new greenhouse. So, with that being said, the very first thing that I want to do is I'm going to go out, check out a few of the caves that we already know the location of out here in the Arctic tundra, and I also want to come down to this area, or actually I think it's right about here. And there's a large tunnel that connects the swamplands into the Arctic tundra area. It's very similar to the tunnel that we're always checking out over here next to the lava biome. So I want to go over here, check this tunnel out, and see what kind of resources are in there. We are also very short on, or not very short, but a little bit short on silica. And I kind of have a plan in mind as well for a future building project. That's going to require, once again, a lot of concrete and a lot of glass. So we need to get our silica situation sorted out as well. So while we're out there checking out the caves for some exotics, let's go ahead and hit up that cave as well. So the very first thing that I'm going to do as we prepare for the greenhouse is I'm going to go ahead and unlock the iron crop plots here. I'm going to go ahead and unlock the iron crop plot. This is going to be our crop plot of choice. It allows us to hook it up to a water network to keep them all watered. There is, of course, the hydroponic crop plots as well. These things are just so insanely expensive. Like 20 composites, 25 steel, 10 electronics for one single crop plot. That's just way too much for me currently. Maybe way down the line, after we've just crafted literally everything we could ever need, then we can look into doing hydroponics, but it's just so preventatively expensive that I'm just going to stick with the irons. These are more than enough for what we're going to need, just growing our vegetables, growing those exotic seeds that we found. This will be plenty for us. So I'm going to go ahead and get this ready. I also have a bunch of iron smelting up currently. We have a decent reserve of iron, a ton of copper, gold, a little bit of steel here, but I don't want to be spending that on hydroponics quite yet. So I'm just going to wait for the rest of this steel, or rest of this iron rather, to keep smelting up for us. We should have more than we need already, but I always like having a little bit of extra in reserve. With that being said, let's go ahead, hop on our MOA, head out into the Arctic biome, make sure we get our warm tea equipped. Let's head out into the Arctic and see about those caves, see if we can't get ourselves a few more exotics. Alright, we made it back to this cave here, and it looks like this exotics node has respawned. So let's go ahead and grab this thing up. Take care of these worms, of course, if I can. grab these and let's check all the caves that we can while we're out here. Alright, and so I came into this cave that I actually haven't explored before yet. This one is very massive, so hopefully we get an exotic in here as well. I'm not seeing anything up here, but this is a very cool cave. Don't remember exploring this one before. Let's check it down in this direction. We have a little bit of a ramp pre-built for us here. Oh, and there are exotics right above a very dangerous pit. I don't have any flat ramps, unfortunately, but we can just kind of like do a bridge like this. Alright, we made it across. We made our little precarious bridge out of ramps. Let's go ahead and grab these up. Awesome. So we are sitting on a ton of exotics at this point. Let's get back to the MOA and see how many we have exactly. Alright, we are back at the MOA here. And with this stack, we have 80 of these crusts and a full 80 normals as well. Very nice. Let's see if we can't find a couple more caves, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over into... I know there's another cave right here that we could check. But yeah, let's head over to this direction and get up into that cavern. There is a ton of silica still out here in this biome. So when it comes to the silica farming, we still have a lot of work to do just out in the normal outdoor nodes. Yeah, they're just everywhere. Seems like they maybe repopped with an update or something. I'm pretty sure we cleared this place out much more thoroughly than it seems like, but you know, I'm not going to complain about more silica out in the open, easy to grab. We did find one more silica, or one more exotics down here on the way to where we're going to build that ramp. Let's go ahead and grab this up too. Alright, so here is that rock sort of shelf we dropped off of this when we did that mission previously. I'm going to go ahead and build our staircase maybe in a little bit more of a central location, kind of over here. Yeah, this should be fine. Let's go ahead and build our ramp. We got the beautiful clay pieces all ready to go here. Let's get a ramp up there. Alright, and just like that, we got our staircase. Let's ignore this wolf for now. Don't need to mess with him. And let's venture out into the cold, freezing Arctic. Oh, this building is still here too. Interesting. But yeah, so this is the area where the tunnel is, along this side, I believe. So we'll keep looking out along the side here. I think there's another cave as well for us to check out, but let's hit up that tunnel, see what it's all about. Alright, and here is the tunnel. Go ahead, stick our head in here. So it looks like, yes, there is a ton of silica in the tunnel as well for us. That's awesome. Got some aluminum, copper, gold. Very nice. Branches off in the right direction as well. I think this is probably an offshoot cave. Maybe check over here. Doesn't look like there's anything of interest over here. But yeah, ton of resources for us. Another awesome tunnel that we can use for all of our needs. And here we are, now entering into the swamplands. I don't know if I want to head down there right now. We might as well just build a little staircase if we're here already. Let's build a staircase down there, just check out the entrance into the swamp zone, see what we're working with here. Alright, I got a little staircase here. I can already see some titanium in these caves, very cool. Oh, and I did spot an exotics node right over there. These caves are quite precarious. I should have brought some floors. That would have made our lives a lot easier here. But let's sort of work our way over to that exotics. We have to clear some of these nodes to open our path up. Just go into stealth mode, make sure you don't fall. And yeah, let's go grab those exotics. Excellent. Even more exotics for the stockpile. Alright, and just over the lip of that little ridge, this should take us into the swamp biome. I believe that's another offshoot cave. Maybe we check that out. But yeah, this is a very labyrinthine little tunnel, but here we go. This is the entrance into the swamplands. So just like that, you can go straight. Don't want to hurt yourself on the thorns, but yeah, just like that, you can go straight through from the Arctic out back into the swamps. Yeah, with that little job taken care of, let's head back to the main base with all of these purple exotics that we got. See just how many we can get out of them. It's going to be at least 500, plus all of the raw purples that we gathered as well. Alright, we are back at the base. We have all of our beautiful exotics ready to go here. Let's get half of them in here. Half of these in there. Get both of those processing up. That's going to be, what, 560-ish? That is awesome. 560 of those, plus what we already have in our inventory here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Another 113. So that's almost 600. What, 600, almost 700 purple exotics. Absolutely awesome. That was a good amount of work that we got done there. Oh, the other thing that I didn't mention. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's nighttime. Okay. The other thing I didn't mention is I actually crafted up 2 more solar panels and 2 more advanced batteries. I did that in the last episode. We'll just go ahead and take a look at them up here. But yeah, 2 more solar panels up here, 2 more batteries in the power station. So we are just totally good as far as charging goes and as far as daytime power demand goes. So, you know, we're pretty much set on electricity, and there are a few things that I have planned to make use of that electricity. But for the time being, with that big exotics run under our belt, let's go ahead and sleep for today, and I will see you guys in the morning. Alright, so I'm over on the crafting character now. I'm crafting up some of the glass pieces that we're going to need for this greenhouse. I think what I want to do is just make like a little, have like a 1 space gap between the edge so we can have a walkway all the way around the greenhouse. We'll build our just sort of base structure in that formation there. And before we do that, I think it's time we move our satellite relay up onto the very peak of the base here. So let's go ahead, we're going to need 1 more inventory slot here. Let's go ahead and move all of this up on top and see how that looks. And there we go, looking absolutely glorious right in the center of our roof right there. Very cool. And with that taken care of, we have a nice sort of open spot for our little greenhouse here. You know, we're not going to make an absolutely giant one, but the idea is I'm going to have a ground floor, and then up another level we will have another floor with the beehive up there, so we can have a full ground floor getting the beehive buff, and then a second floor getting the beehive buff. And if we need to eventually make a 3rd floor, then we can get a beehive buff above the middle floor as well. So it's going to be a ton of space for our crops. But yeah, I think it's going to look pretty cool. It's going to be super functional and super useful as well. So let's go ahead, get that whole thing crafted up. Alright, so here's going to be the basic shape of it. You know, when we come up on the roof, maybe I extend this platform just to be 1 more. I think that would probably be nice, so it'll be nice and flush with the double doorway here. But yeah, this is going to be the basic shape of it. Super simple. Just a nice, tidy little greenhouse up here on the 2nd floor. And the other thing that I'm actually going to do, in addition to making this our greenhouse, I'm going to move the kitchen up into this building as well. So we'll have all of our food and cooking related needs up in the greenhouse. I think that'll be super convenient for us just to have everything right next to the kitchen bench. And in addition to that, I actually want to make another deep freeze. So we'll have 2 deep freezes for the main base for all of our cooked foods, all of our ingredients, and then a really, really nice greenhouse for all of the crops we could possibly need. But yeah, we're going to need a lot more glass cooking up. I have some in the furnaces right now, so it's just going to be a little bit of waiting as we get all of this glass cooked up. But yeah, I'm going to get all those pieces together and be back with you guys once we're ready to get that greenhouse up. Alright, and we also have all of our exotics ready to go. So this is 600 in here, and then 52 more in here. So 652 from the processor, plus I think it was about 80 that we had just from mining them regularly. So, you know, we have over 700 more purple exotics for us. That's a ton of exotics, a ton of Ren if we need to exchange it into Ren. So super, super happy about that. All right. There's the basic structure of it. I had to add this horizontal beam to get a little bit more support for a little bit of the roof pieces. So we're going to have to make our roof look a little bit more uniform here. We'll also get the wooden pillars, I think, surrounding the whole thing. I think that'll look pretty cool. Add a little bit of detail to it. But yeah, so we'll get some more of those wooden pillars set up for us. A couple more concrete pillars to make this look more uniform. I don't know if we need this here. Maybe what we do is actually like extend a concrete pillar all the way around the roof. I think that would look kind of nice, make things look a little bit more flush. That's going to be a ton of silica and steel rebars, but hey, if we're making our base look good, it's going to be worth it. All right, so I decided against the pillars. I wasn't really liking how they were looking. And I think I'm also wanting to extend this back one more. We can just build a walkway around it in this direction, but I think it'll look better from the ground if this was one more in length. So we're going to get a few more glass pieces crafted up, and we'll have this extended out one additional square. But yeah, I think that'll look much nicer. It'll give us a lot more space to work within here. But yeah, that's the progress so far. Just a nice, cool box on top of the building. It's going to be a very simple greenhouse, but it's going to get the job done. Alright, so we're going to have to work out our support system a little bit more here. This one in particular is having a few issues with support. So I think once we have our concrete pillars kind of all crafted up and we can have a nice sort of symmetrical pattern extending from the corner pillars inward, that'll provide us enough support. If we ever want to extend this another floor upwards, then we're going to start having some larger difficulties, but for now we should be able to get by with a few more concrete pillars. So I'm going to get those crafted up. Alright, and just that one extra concrete pillar was enough to solve our support issues. Let's get our doors in here as well. Get these things on. Nice reinforced glass doors, and here we go. This is the basic shape of the greenhouse. So we're going to want to have our a second level here. So I do have a bunch more glass floors. I'm just going to put in a second level kind of just right above this first one. We might need to make a few more glass floors, but the idea is going to be that we put our beehive kind of right in the center of this thing, and we will have a full layer of crops underneath here and a full layer of crops above, all getting the benefits of a single beehive. All right. And that is the shape of the basic greenhouse. Super, super simple, as I was saying, but you know, this will be more than enough for what we need, honestly. And so we're going to get all the crops down underneath here and up above. And then over here, I think, is where I want to place my kitchen area. So we're going to have to get, all of our kitchen equipment up here, our deep freezes, all of that. This is going to be our new home for all of our food needs. Let's take a look at it from down below. And yeah, there it is. Just a nice extra glass box on top of our building. Nothing too fancy, honestly, but this is currently just about form over function. I just want to get a greenhouse. I want to get this thing replaced. Maybe we have a few better ideas about how we can make it look cooler. But for now, I mean, the main purpose of this is we're going to have a really, really nice place to grow all of our crops. So let's go ahead, switch back to the main character and get all of our crop plots crafted up. And we'll get them stuck in here. We'll get them hooked up to our water network and start working on moving our kitchen into this area as well. Alright, and before we get to work on all of that, let's go ahead and deliver off all of these beautiful exotics that we gathered up. Let's just see how much we have in total now. Can't even fit them all in my inventory. I have to dump some of this stuff out. Not enough inventory space for all of them. We'll have to get a second one, but here is 600 beautiful purple exotics. Let's call down another drop pod and get the rest of these things delivered. Alright, 52 more. Absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look at our total real quick here. We are at 2,200 purples. We still have 700 reds remaining. We are absolutely stacked. All of the Ren and exotics I think we can need for Leica. Who knows how expensive things are actually going to be, if there are going to be a lot of cool new workshop items, but we got that taken care of. Let's get back to work on our beautiful new greenhouse. Alright, let's get the first 12 of these things crafted up. We're going to want more than that. I'm realizing that we're probably going to need to smelt up even more iron here. But let's just see how that first little batch looks. We're going to need some more steel screws here as well. We got some in reserve. How much more can we craft here? It's another 3. We're short on copper wire. That's the other annoying thing about this, is it takes copper wire too. So yeah, let's start off with these. Let's see how these look in there. So I think, yeah, 6 right there. We'll do 6 more on this side. Very nice. And then we'll have our beehive kind of right up here. Yeah, let's do maybe a few more on each side here. So it looks like it's going to be 9 more, and then we'll be able to have 6 on both levels. I think for now that's going to be way more than we need. These things, we're going to have to hook all of these up into our water system as well. Each one of them taking 15, so we might need to get some water pumps going just to make sure we have enough water. I mean, we have 2,000 with our existing setup, which is quite a bit. As far as total amount goes, I think we have enough, but maybe we get set up for future proofing here. But yeah, I mean, we have this huge greenhouse. I think for the time being, the 24 crop plots, that's going to be more than enough for us. Let's get all of those set up, get our seeds and all of that planted up in there as well, get them hooked up to the water pipes, and then see about what we want to do. I mean, we could very easily have just a second row of 24 more on each side. But yeah, let's start crafting up those last few. It is pretty late at night. We're dipping into our reserve battery, so what I think we do is let's take a nice sleep here, close our door to the outside world, and I will see you guys in the morning as we finish off this greenhouse project. Good morning, everybody. So I got the other 6. I decided to actually just line them up against the back wall there so it doesn't sort of block our staircase here. But yeah, I think that is going to be it for the crop plots for now. This is just an insane amount of crop plots, way more than we need. I was just kind of doing it for the visual sake of filling out the space a little bit more. But yeah, this is just going to be a crazy amount of crops, way more than we're ever going to need. Get our beehive up here. Let's go ahead and get that thing up into our beautiful new greenhouse. We're going to get this stuck right in the center of our little thing here. Let's just stick it down right here. Make sure every crop plot is covered by the buff. Okay, so these are all getting buffed. Oh, these two are not getting buffed. Okay, so I may have miscalculated the range here. What about these? Yeah, these are not getting buffed either. So it's a good thing we double check the bees. So their range, this is just very slightly out of range. If we center it here, everything is very slightly out of range at the corners. So I'm going to have to rearrange our crop plots and how we position our beehive. Alright, so after some messing around, this is the formation that I decided to go with. So we're going to have to go around the center. We don't really have a walkway right through the center, but with this positioning, we have all of those crop plots and all of these crop plots above all getting the bee modifier. So one single beehive is enough for all of these crop plots with this setup. Absolutely awesome. It's going to be way more than we need. And we're going to have to get all of these hooked up to water pipes as well. But yeah, I think that is going to be how we sort of lay this thing out. Let's get all of our upgrades back into the beehive here. See how it looks with that. Kind of sticking out to the right there. We still haven't crafted the extractor quite yet. I don't know if we need that really, but I think it would be nice just for appearance sake. But yeah, this is the shape of the greenhouse. Absolute massive amount of crop plots for us here. Super nice and easy to get all of them buffed by one single beehive here. And I was thinking, you know, if we ever wanted to expand this for whatever reason, we could always just build up on top of this, and I believe it should still get the glass piece buff just sitting on top of the glass roof without having to build a full structure around it. So we could potentially have a third layer of crops just right above it as well on the roof. But yeah, that's how things are shaping up. I'm going to go ahead and get to work on getting everything hooked up to the water system as well right now. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge because, you know, we're going to have pipes all over the place. I'm not sure how good it's going to look, but we're going to try our best. I definitely don't want to have the pipes visible on the inside of our base, like underneath. So we're going to have to work on getting our pipes, I think, just up above the roof here and seeing what we can do in terms of getting that looking as clean as we possibly can. I think that's probably as good as we can probably get it looking on the underside of this. We have all of these hooked up. I just have this one straight pipe on the side, and then I hooked up all of the interior piping through that one connection. So that takes care of the upper ones. You know, maybe there's some more trickery we could do to make this look a little bit better. We could just put 2 more crop plots here as well. That would hide a little bit more of the pipage there, but that one is done. Let's go ahead and get this lower section done as well here. Alright, I'm just double checking underneath, so none of the piping from those are showing inside of the base. That's perfect. So this is what we're going to go with, just this one pipe on the outer edge, and then we'll connect all of the internals kind of like this, just to that one pipe. Doesn't look the greatest on the other underside here, but I think that's, you know, as clean as we can get it. Every single one of these needs to be hooked up to a pipe, so that's the way it's got to be. Alright, so I have all these old wooden storages from when we first crafted them way back when. I'm just going to use those up here. I think that'll be fine. We have 3 of them. This is more than enough for all the seeds and, you know, fertilizer and whatever it is that we're going to be crafting up here. So these storages will do us for that. And then let's go ahead and get our kitchen set up over in this corner. Alright, so I decided to retry the piping so it's not coming through the main entrance here. And I'm going to experiment with the interior wood trick to see if that works on these water pipes as well. And it looks like it does. That's awesome. We have a little bit of pipe sticking out there. That's totally fine. I'm not going to be super picky about it. But let's go ahead and get all these upgraded. So we have the pillar completely upgraded. That does hide the water pipes. Excellent to know. I didn't do it perfectly. We have a tiny bit of pipe sticking out at the bottom there. Maybe we fix that in the future, but I kind of just want to get this whole thing up and running. It looks way better already. We're going to be doing, you know, concrete pillars all the way across. We could have been a little bit better about it. You know, maybe I just try it one more time, get it all completely hidden since we went through the trouble. But yeah, that's great to know that the pillar trick does work on the water pipes as well. So we can have most of this hidden. We're still going to have it visible inside our flooring over here. But, you know, that's going to be totally fine. Alright, a lot of trial and error, and we finally got the water pipes fully hidden here. I'm going to go ahead and get this hooked up to our water system. These will be nice and invisible, but still hooked up to the water system. Make sure that's going here. Yep, all of them are hooked up. Absolutely awesome. Double check the ones up here too. Everything is good to go, and our water pipes are all going to be hidden too. Glad we took the extra effort because this looks much, much better. As you can see, it's totally hidden on this facade as well. Still a little bit of it sticking out of the ground, or out of the water there. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Alright, and there's something I actually have kind of been wanting to experiment as far as building goes. I'm actually going to kind of build like a sloped concrete pillar all the way down from the side of this building. It'll make it look like a cool sort of industrial looking sort of flat ramp all the way down into that pond there, and then down kind of connecting into the power line. And with that support structure, hopefully I'll actually be able to build a full kind of angled roof on top of the glass greenhouse. I think that'll look way nicer. And you know, I've seen a couple builds utilizing like really long diagonal pillars. I think they look really cool on builds. So you know what? We're gonna try and spruce this thing up a little bit. I'm not content just doing the normal old box. We got to make something look a little bit cooler here. So we're gonna go with the long angled concrete pillar. See if we can get that thing set up and see how that looks. Here's how it's coming along here. I think it actually does look pretty cool here. You know, I think what I want to do is I want to have this pillar constructed all the way down into the water, and then maybe we can have like a glass ramp all the way down here. And maybe we even consider like breaking out this side of the workshop and just having this awesome sort of sheer glass wall coming down as an angled glass sort of wall to build into. I'm not sure if I want to do that quite yet. For now, I think let's just build these slanted pillars here, see how that ends up looking, and yeah, maybe make 2 or 3 of these depending on the spacing. I don't think we can quite evenly space it with 3 of them. There's an odd number of blocks here, but let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we could do it every 2. So 1 there, 1 here, 1 here, and then 1 here. Or we could just do like the 2 sides of it, and then maybe just 1 of the center ones. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do yet. We're going to need to craft up a lot more concrete pillars, though, if we're going to go through with this. So I'm definitely really liking how this is looking. I think that'll look awesome, and we'll be able to have, hopefully, a fully sort of slanted roof up on top of the greenhouse, and this cool industrial sort of sloped wall coming across the side of the base. Alright, and there we go. We have the 2 slanted pillars. This one is just touching our little walkway here. I think that's kind of cool looking. But yeah, we got our nice slanted facade here. I want to figure out what I want to do about designing it with, you know, the pillars and how we want to make it look exactly on that side. But for now, that should be enough support to get a full roof up on this baby. Let's go ahead and take care of that. Alright, I'm testing out a 2-high roof here. Let's see how that looks kind of down from below. Oh yeah, that is looking pretty majestic up there. It looks way better with the peaked roof instead of the flat box there. Definitely liking how that's looking. Very cool. We got a real greenhouse up on the roof now. Good morning, everybody. We officially have our greenhouse all set up on the roof. It is looking super cool. There's some detail work we can do, you know, put in some pillars, make it look a little bit more interesting than just a big glass box like that. But I really like that we were able to get the peaked roof up there. I think that looks so much better than just the flat roof. Alright, here's how the side of the house is shaping up. Looking very cool. Industrial. Maybe we like fill the whole thing out with more pillars, horizontal pillars all the way down. I think that would look pretty cool. But for now, I'm liking how this is looking. Very clean. Nice sort of interesting industrial design on the side of the base now, and it's supporting the roof of our greenhouse, which is really what we were after. We could continue the pillars like all the way up and then all the way down across into the other side, so we kind of have the two slanted pillars on all sides. That might look kind of interesting, but for now this sort of asymmetrical sort of bridge pillar is going to be fine. And you know, in the future I do think I want to do something as far as filling this in, maybe like with all glass ramps all the way up to the greenhouse. That could look really cool. But for now, you know, we just wanted to get the basic shape of our greenhouse up here. It is up and running. We got our nice third layer here if we want to get the new plants in on the third layer as well. But you know, we have been sort of looks like, oh yeah, we have a bee in here. Our queen bee is producing bees for us. Very nice. Yeah, we have done all the setup I think that we need for now. Let's go ahead, get some crops growing, and finally work on getting a kitchen set up in this other section over here as well. All right, and as we prepare this brand new awesome kitchen, I'm going to go ahead and craft up 2 more expanded deep freezes. This will give us 3 total for the base here. Way more than we're probably ever going to need, but you know, we want our finalized kitchen all set up. We have those 2 new ones and our nice previous one here, so we will have way more than enough deep freeze storage. All right, we got the same setup here. Nice little window next to the kitchen. We're going to put some deep freezes up there. I'm going to want some railings to kind of separate off the kitchen. We're going to put the deep freezes up here. I'm going to want some railings to kind of separate that area. And speaking of railings, you know, I think it is high time that we finally upgrade our bridges and put some railings on those. You know, we've been working with this old little stone bridge. It's finally time that we upgrade this into its final form. Let's get a beautiful concrete bridge set up all the way over here. We'll also need to repair our barn. And the more I'm looking at the barn here, I'm thinking maybe we see what a clay wall version of the barn looks like. I mean, I absolutely love the look of the interior wood, but it is just becoming such a pain to consistently repair it all the time. So let's see if we can't get some clay pieces crafted up for the barn as well. Get that changed over into clay brick. I think that'll look pretty nice. And let's also work on getting a new bridge. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need to get our kitchen set up. So I'm going to go ahead, get all the stuff for the kitchen up here, and get to work on all of that. All right, we got the kitchen hooked up to electricity here. I'm going to be able to hide those wires in the concrete pillars. We're going to want to get our other deep freeze up here as well. So we'll have all 3 of our beautiful deep freezes all set up next to our little kitchen here. We have all of our ingredients, or all of our seeds rather, random ingredients and stuff stored in these chests. So everything we're going to need for cooking all set up right here. Super beautiful. Loving how the new kitchen and greenhouse is shaping up. Awesome. So I am going to want to get a few more concrete pillars. I'm going to finish out the whole frame of this with the concrete pillars. Oops, drop down. I'm going to finish out the frame of that with concrete pillars, and I do want to make like the whole border of the top of the base with those concrete pillars. It'll look a little bit better than just having one random one right there. So we have a lot more concrete pillars that we're going to need to craft up, but fortunately we have a good amount of ingredients here. Right now we can make 33. We're going to need to spend some more steel, but with that taken care of, just a few more finishing touches and our whole new kitchen upgrade is going to be done. Awesome. We got all 3 deep freezes hooked up, all of our appliances hooked up. Everything is looking good. I'm going to go ahead and get our salting station down here as well. For all of our salting needs. That also helps hide that little clump of wires in the corner. But yeah, this is the shape of the kitchen. Really, really loving it. All right, and there we go. We have the concrete pillar border set up all along the top side of here as well. Definitely liking how it's looking. There's a little bit more detail that we can put onto the side of the greenhouse, but you know, for now, just take a look at this thing from down here. Yeah, I'm loving the look of that from down here. That glass and concrete combining really nicely. We need another pillar right there for sure to complete the look. But yeah, really liking how the base is coming along. You know, there's a lot more work that can be done, but we officially have upgraded from the old wooden crop plots here. Let's put a stamp on it and get all of our new crops growing in there. And as for what crops we are going to start growing in our beautiful new greenhouse, there is just the quest for us here. Celebrity Chef Stockpile requires an absolute ton of food crafting. So with our beautiful new food system all set up, our greenhouse, our new kitchen, we should be able to make quick work of this.
Might be a pack of wolves, but they're wolves with cash. Uni've got a job for you, if you don't mind who you're working for.
All right, let's do this thing. So, in true ICARUS fashion, it won't show you what you need to craft until you travel out to the locations on the map. So we have to go all the way down to the southern Arctic and then all the way out to this swamp that we actually haven't even explored yet. And once we reach there, then it will tell us all of the items that we need to craft. So we can go out there, see what we need to craft, and then come all the way back to the base. I do know that a lot of it is going to be like berry jam and stuff like that, and wine, I believe. So we're going to need to grab a few more researches that we haven't quite researched yet. As far as cooking goes, we're going to need, I don't remember where the glass bottle is. Maybe that was even tier 1. Oh, here we go. Yeah, berry jam, wine, beer. We're going to need a few of these. Let's go out there, quickly access the mission information. Oh, it looks like we might have a visitor here. This is rare. I've never seen an animal become aggressive. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a jaguar. This is the first time I've actually had an animal swim all the way out here to attack our animals. Yeah, we're going to hop on our MOA, get on over to those spots and see exactly what it is that we're going to need to cook up. Alright, we have made it out to this area of the swamp. I actually haven't come out to this one before, so we're going to need to quickly build a little bit of a staircase here. I got a nice bunch of clay ramps for that job. Let's go ahead and get a staircase down here and head on over to where we need to go. Alright, we have activated the first drop pod, so you can see 40 beer, 40 bread dough, soybean stir fries, fish pies, and freshwater fish fillet curry. We're gonna have to drop all that in here. So if we want to do this at our main base, we're gonna have to carry all of those food items from the base all the way back over here. It's gonna be a little bit of a chore, especially with how quickly things tend to spoil. But it is much simpler than building a new base all the way out here to do all the crafting. So I'm just going to go ahead and snag the other waypoint as well. And once we've done that, we'll head back to the main base, get all the stuff that we need planted, cooking up. We're going to need to do a bunch of fishing. I might actually head out back to the lava biome and grab up a ton of fish over there. To get all of that'll be salt water out in that area, and then we can grab those traps and stick them in the pond next to our base to get all the freshwater fish that we need. But I think that's how we're probably going to handle the fishing portion of this mission. As far as the crafting and cooking goes, we have our beautiful new greenhouse. That part of it is going to be super, super simple for us to take care of. Alright, and we made it back to the southern Arctic region over here. We're going to go ahead and activate the second drop pod, get our second list of recipes as well here. Second drop pod coming in. It's in a kind of an annoying location. We're going to have to build some more ramps to get out here. And back up. Let's go ahead. I think we have to, touch it. And then there's our second list. We got wine, berry jam, fruit salad, saltwater fish, and saltwater sashimi. So a lot of fishing. I definitely think we're going to want to head back to our traps out in the lava biome. Fortunately, we have our highway. We'll be able to get there pretty quickly. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab all that up. Oops. Ooh. Good thing we're that fast. I didn't even see that. We'll go ahead and grab all that up and make sure we get the fishing portion of this taken care of as quickly as possible too. All right, we have made it back. We have our beautiful greenhouse ready to get to work here. I'm gonna start up crafting all the things that we already know how to do. Get a bunch of that like bread dough. We need to make a bunch of glass bottles as well here. So we need to do some tech tree stuff here. So we need beer, berry jam. We also need a wine, so we'll do that. Glass jar and glass bottle. I don't think, yeah, I've not done the glass jar or bottle either. So we're going to need a lot of glass and some iron for all of those jars and bottles. Fortunately, these things do not spoil, so we can kind of just craft those right away. But that's going to be, what, 85 bottles and 40 jars. So we're going to need probably a lot more glass. We can make the 40 jars here. Oops, 40 jars. And then 80 bottles. We're going to need a lot more glass. So let's get a little bit of our new silica supply cooking up into glass here. We're going to want some extra glass for, you know, more glass building pieces in the future as well. But let's just go ahead and get all this cooking up. Half of that in this one, half of that in this one. Get a bunch more glass. And then in order to actually craft the wine and berry jam, we're going to need reed flowers, wild berries, a lot of wild berries, some yeast and wheat. I'm going to have to do a little bit of math, figure out exactly how much of each crop we need. We might have enough to do the berry jams. We're going to need to grow more berries. We're going to need to grow more reed flowers, definitely some more yeast. I think we might have enough wheat. Let me double check in our little stockpile here. We have 500 wheat. We could always just go out and just harvest some wheat really quickly. There's tons of it kind of growing nearby too. So the main difficulty of that is going to be just getting all the glass crafted up. For the fruit salad, here it is, fruit salads. That's just watermelons and wild berries. So we're going to need a ton of wild berries. Let's go ahead and get a few of those plants going here. I'm going to get 6 wild berry plants going. I think that should be enough. 4 yeasts. Watermelons. Let's go ahead and do maybe 4 watermelons. Okay. So we also have a ton more wheat. I've just been stashing a ton of wheat and flour in this little mortar right here. So we have a ton of wheat and bread dough. So I think we should be good on the beer. 4 of those reed flowers, 4 of those carrots. We have 2 more plots here. By the time we start working on the other stuff, let's see, fish pie. Fish pie is going to be mushrooms and pastries. So maybe we just get a couple mushrooms. And I think that's pretty much everything that we're going to need. Just a lot of berries really at this point. So let's get a couple of mushrooms going as well. All right. We got our whole greenhouse working for us. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm loving this. Beautiful new greenhouse. All of the buffs that we could possibly want, currently at least. So we are ready for some serious harvesting. We could also use fertilizer. I do have this chemistry bench, and what we could potentially do here is craft up the tier 4 fertilizers. So maybe we go ahead and get the yield fertilizer researched. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And we have a bunch of spare fertilizer out here. ton of it. So right before we harvest them, we're going to add that fertilizer. I'm going to go ahead and harvest up the crops that we have out here as well. Get a bunch more yeast, some of the other stuff that we're looking for. These soybeans are going to be nice and useful for us. But yeah, at this point, we're just kind of waiting for those ingredients to grow. I think what we do now is let's head over to the lava biome, pick up all of those saltwater fish that we have already fished up. Those traps are still sitting out there with all of the fish in their inventories. So let's go ahead and grab as much of that as we can and get that back here for our cooking purposes. Alright, we have made it back to the spot with all of our fishing traps. I'm going to stick my mower right here. For whatever reason, he can't walk through the water. But I'm going to grab up as many of these fish and fishing traps as I can fit in my inventory right now. I probably should have made a little bit more space in the inventory, but let's take all of this, grab this thing up too. I'm going to grab a ton of these fishing traps as well, so we can actually get those fishing in fresh water for us. Yeah, we are already out of space here. I mean, I don't even know, like maybe there's some really good fish in here that are super rare. I haven't even checked like the quality. This is a pretty nice quality one. But I'm just going to go ahead, grab up, I guess, 3 inventories worth of these fish. Go back to the base, start chopping some of these up into fillets, and I think I'll do maybe 1 or 2 more runs out here. Looks like my mow is attracting some attention. Oh, okay. But yeah, I'll do maybe 1 or 2 more runs out here, just get an absolute ton of saltwater fillets going for us. We went through the trouble of doing all that fishing. I think it's probably a good idea to actually make use of these, and I do want to actually collect up all of those traps. I don't want to leave them out here permanently. Bring some of them back to the base so we can kind of deploy them when we need them in saltwater, maybe closer to our base, not all the way out here in the middle of the lava zone. But yeah, for now, I'm just going to get as many of these fish chopped up into fillets as we can. We only need 50 of them. We're going to have way more than 50 with all the fish that we caught. But yeah, get some of those stuck into the deep freeze out here, and just carry, maybe I don't know, 100 of them back to the base. Maybe we take them all. I don't know. We'll have to see how our inventory is looking. But yeah, for now, it's just a matter of grabbing these fish, taking them back to the Outpost base, and from there, by the time we get back, our crops will definitely be fully grown, so we'll be able to harvest up all of those crops and get to work on our berry jams and beers and all of that as well. Alright, so I got our fish all chopped up into fillets here. We have almost 50 of them, still not quite enough. I decided to hang on to these 2 fish. It's like an 84% quality neon dory, 74% void triggerfish. These are rare and uncommon. I don't know if I'm actually going to keep those. I don't know if we can actually get them back to the base in time before they would spoil. But I'm going to do 1 more run back to the traps out there. I went ahead and emptied out my inventory so we can have as much space as we possibly can. But I'm going to do 1 more trip out there, get a few more traps, get a bunch more saltwater fish, get those chopped up, and then we will be ready to head back to the main base and get some cooking done. Alright, so I have gone back to the saltwater area. I got a ton of saltwater fish fillets here. They do spoil pretty quickly in your inventory, so we're going to have to book it back to the main base. I did decide to keep these 2 fish as well. This void triggerfish is 82% quality, and this neon dory is 89%. I didn't gather up all the traps. We still have a ton more left out there floating in the water for, whenever we come back here. We'll have some freshwater fish waiting for us over there. But I went ahead and grabbed up 6 of the traps. I think, I have 2 more in here as well. So we have 8 total traps. I grabbed the fishing rod, 1 of the dog tag lures. I'm going to go ahead, grab all of this food. Make sure we take this fishing bench back with us as well here. But I'm going to go ahead, grab up all these fish fillets and these 2 fish here and try and make it back to the base before too much of it spoils. Hopefully these fish will last in our inventory as well. Go ahead and feed our Moa, get that extra stamina buff here, and let's book it on back to the main base. Alright, we have made it back to the base. Let's go ahead and get all of this stuff in our deep freezes really quickly here. I haven't checked my inventory yet even, but I'm going to go ahead, come on through on my MOA as fast as we can, get up here, and dump all of this in here. So all the fish fillets, and it looks like our 2 fish are just fine as well. Let's get them in there. All right, so we made it back. All of our ingredients about halfway spoiled, but we have way more than we need. We have a nice stockpile of fish now. All that meat. I want to get these set up on our trophy benches eventually here. Definitely want to get some new trophy mounts set up for those guys, but for the time being, let's just get our fishing bench stuck maybe right here. Or, you know what? Maybe we stick that down in the big open space where our kitchen used to be. Fill out the space a little bit here. Kind of fits the theme of having all the fish trophies here as well. But we'll want to get a couple more fish trophies set up there. Get those 2 nice fish up on our wall. But with that taken care of, we have plenty of these jars. It's weird how these stack in stacks of 12. Alright, so we're going to craft up 35 more of these bottles. That should be everything for the wine, the beer, and the berry jam. Let's go ahead and check in on our crops. It looks like they're all pretty much grown, ready to go. Very nice. We're going to get those harvested up and stuck in our deep freezes as well. But before we do that, I'm going to set up a bunch more fishing traps out here. Just jump off of my roof here. And that is going to be way more than enough freshwater fish for us as well here pretty soon. Oh, we got to upgrade that pillar. Didn't even notice it. But yeah, we are ready to do our first big harvest here. Alright, that is all of our crops harvested. Let's stick the spoiling ones into our fridge here really quick. All those ingredients that can spoil in there. Alright, so I'm going to start off with 50 fruit salads here. Let's get 50 of those crafted up. We're probably going to need to craft up even more berry bushes, so maybe what I do is replace some of these things that we don't need anymore, like the watermelons. Alright, we got our new berry bushes down. We're going to need a ton of berries for all that wine. That's 450 berries just for the wine. And then the jam is also 5 berries. So you know what? Why don't we test out our fertilizer on the berries, since we need just so many of those things. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and craft up 20 of these high quality fertilizers. It'll slow our crop speed, but give us a plus 50% yield. So I'm going to go ahead and get our berries fertilized up with this and just get a lot more yield out of it, a lot more use out of our time. Alright, so I just planted up a ton more berries here. This is going to be way more than we need. Let's also grab this fertilizer. At this point, it's probably a little bit overkill with all of those new berry bushes planted up, but I just want to see how much the fertilizer boost is here. So let's go ahead and then let's fertilize the new ones that we just planted. We'll get all of those fertilized up, and then we can compare just how much more we get with the 50% boost in total harvested. It is slower in terms of growth speed, but we will get a lot more yield out of it once they're ready. Alright, so we have all of the saltwater fillet sashimi crafted up, all of the fruit salads. We're going to need to salt these things up. I have a bunch of spare salt, 500 sitting in the bench right now, and I have some noxious crust already cooking up in our materials processor. These are almost ready to go, so these normal berries are also almost ready to go. Once these are both ready to go, we'll take a look and see just how much more we're getting out of the better version of those, but we're going to need a ton of berries. I'm realizing I used over 100 berries, and we only got 25 of these berry jams, and we still have the wine to go, which is just a ton of berries. Okay, and it looks like our berries are finished here. They still have the active fertilizer, so let's do one of the normal berry plots here. That was 16 berries, 49 fiber, and then one of the increased ones is 18 berries, 69 fiber. So it is a little bit better. go ahead and harvest all the stuff that we can. Get all of these berries in our inventories. We're going to need a lot of berries. Alright, and as we wait for those berries to finish, it looks like we have a ton of freshwater fish here. This is a black diamond, but it's only 40% quality. Let's grab all of these up and start chopping up some of these fish into freshwater fillets. Alright, and just like that, we have all of the wines crafting up. Now we just need our beers, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, and just like that, we have our 40 beers crafting up. Absolutely perfect. So we are done with all the beer, all the wine, the berry jams, fruit salads, crumbed saltwater fish fillet, and saltwater sashimi. So we are ready to deliver the Arctic one if we wanted to do that. For the swamp one, we still need 40 bread doughs, 50 soybean stir fries, and 25 fish pies. So we got some work to do still on that one. Alright, the beer is all finished. Let's go ahead and get our 40 bread doughs crafting up. Alright, and there is all 40 of the bread doughs taken care of. Now we need 50 soybean stir fries and 25 fish pies. And this is a pretty good food for gun users. It has 10% extra projectile damage, so this is maybe a food that we use before we go into battle as well. But that's something to keep in mind for sure, is that look for foods, even if it's just 900 seconds, it's not the full 1200 seconds. Some of them have really good buffs like extra projectile damage or melee damage, so this is a really nice cheap food for that extra 10% damage on our guns. Alright, all done with the soybean stir fries. They all only stack up into 10, so it's going to be a ton of inventory space. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do 2 separate trips, one out to the Arctic and then one out to the swamp area. I'm pretty sure we could get it all to fit in our inventory, but I'm just concerned about the spoil time. I don't mind doing a little bit of extra running around. So I'm going to go ahead and do one trip out to the Arctic and then the second trip out to the swamplands. But with that being said, we have everything we need for the fish pies as well here. Let's get 25 of those things crafting up. Pie. Need 25 of these things. And we are all done with our crafting and cooking. Absolutely beautiful. Alright, we officially have all of our cooking finished. All of our foods are salted up. We had way more than enough salt to get all of this, all these perishables salted. So, with that taken care of, we are ready to end this beast of a mission. Let's get all of our beautifully crafted foods into their respective drop pods, get them delivered off into space, and get this mission taken care of. This new kitchen is absolutely awesome. It is so much more storage than we could ever really need, honestly, for our normal sort of farming and cooking needs. These crop plots I think are going to be more than enough for us as well. Really, really liking how it turned out in terms of the visual. Definitely an awesome looking greenhouse. Super pleased with it. We have this interesting little sort of side offshoot pillar thing to the side. We're going to need to figure out what we do with this. We need to make it look a lot cooler for sure on this side, but I definitely am liking the idea of it. So yeah, with all of that work behind us, let's go ahead, take a well-deserved rest, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Alright, we have made it back to the pod with our delivery. Go ahead and get all of this in the pod as quick as we can here. We should have a good amount of durability left on these things. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we probably could have gotten away with doing both of them at the same time. Let's go ahead and get all of this stuff in the pod.
Okay.
That is everything for the Alpine.
You're good to go.
Well, let's head back to the base, grab up all of our delicacies for the swamp, and get this mission all finished up. And as I'm heading back to the base, I'm actually noticing I missed a cooking recipe The mission objective was kind of cut off at the bottom, but we also need 25 freshwater fillet curries. So maybe it was a good thing we decided to split it up into 2 different trips here. I would have been caught out without those freshwater curries. So let's get back to the base. We should have plenty of freshwater fish in our traps. So we'll get those curries crafted up, everything loaded up in our inventory, and get this quest taken care of. Alright, and there's 25 curries crafting up for us. That is the very last thing we need. And with that taken care of, we are ready to knock this mission out. And speaking of the animal feed that I just crafted up, the Leica update as of the time of recording this is not quite yet out. I'm recording this a couple days before it actually releases. But I did see a video about the pre-release version, and there actually will be a new animal feed that gives even better stamina and movement speed buffs, or stamina regeneration and maximum stamina. Just a better version of the existing seed feed. And you can actually, with the new feed troughs, pretty much instantly craft as much of that as you want. Let's just go ahead and drop down here. Oh, we took a little damage there. You can pretty much instantly craft up as much of that as you want. A single vegetable, I believe, will craft up into one of those new feeds. So it is so much more resource efficient, and it's more powerful. So super excited for the Leica update. That is going to be super awesome with that new feeder and the new feed as well. All right, we have made it back to the drop pod. Let's get all of this stuff in here and get this mission completed. There we go.
Right. I think you're good.
Let's watch that thing take off. All of our hard work, 900 Ren, 150 purple exotics. That feels absolutely awesome. It's a ton of work, but we got it done. And we really needed that Ren. We were pretty short on Ren at the time, so that was a really nice reward of almost 1,000 Ren from that. We do have a ton of purple exotics that we can sell, but getting that extra Ren is going to be super nice. Just like that, we are back at the base, triumphant, victorious. That was a beast of a mission. As always, these missions tend to be very long. Hey, we got it done. That new greenhouse looks absolutely awesome up there. We got all of our work done in that awesome new greenhouse and new kitchen. I'm feeling great. And with that behind us, there's just one more thing I want to do, or I guess 2 more things. Let's go ahead and upgrade the barn into clay. With Leica right around the corner, you know, we can't be constantly repairing this thing. I'm gonna miss the interior wood. Hopefully, you know, they make like a reinforced version of the interior wood the same way that they did with the normal wood. But yeah, this constant repairing cannot stand. Let's go ahead and get this upgraded. And then in addition to that, let's also get a nice finalized bridge crafted up here, a really nice sort of concrete bridge all the way across, make it look a little bit fancier out here. Let's take care of those last couple things, make the base even better out here. Alright, and there we go. We have the whole facade all upgraded into clay bricks. It's looking very nice. I want to replace these little half walls with clay bricks as well. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good as clay brick. I do think the wood does look a little bit better, but I just got so tired of doing all the repairs. We're going to stick with the clay brick for now. I'm also working on crafting up some concrete pieces. We're going to get our whole fancy new bridge all up and ready to go here. Upgrade permanently from this little stone one. But yeah, we'll take care of that first thing in the morning. Let's go ahead and get one more night's sleep here and get those last few little base upgrades taken care of first thing in the morning. Good morning, everybody. The base is fully upgraded into clay brick over here, looking very spiffy in the sunlight. I think I do actually like it a little bit better in the sunlight than it was in the dark here. But yeah, looking very nice out of the clay brick. Yeah, definitely pleased with how that turned out. Now with that taken care of, let's go ahead and get to work on upgrading our bridge here. Alright, and just like that, we have our beautiful new bridge all constructed. It is looking absolutely awesome. I used all of the old crop plots that we had just to make some nice decorative plants on the side of the bridge. I think that's looking absolutely awesome. I also added a few extra decorative plants kind of up there by the greenhouse, add a little bit of splash of green and color to the base. Really, really liking the way that everything is shaping up here. The last other little thing I did is I made a couple more fish trophy plaques here. We have our neon dory and our void triggerfish all the way from the lava biome, both very high quality, very large, really nice fish right there. Very glad that we have those there. And I added the pearl Diano over here. Not the greatest pearl Diano, but definitely nice. Alright, so here is how the finished greenhouse shaped up here. I really like this sort of angled pillar thing here. It looks really awesome, and you know, we're definitely going to want to do something to make it look even cooler here. But yeah, I put a few more finishing touches just sort of on the outside of the base here. Let's go ahead and jump down the ladder. I added a bunch of railings on the side here, another pillar there to make it look a little bit more complete. Railings all the way up here, and then in the greenhouse a couple more railings just to sort of separate the storages there. I went ahead and brought the wood composter and a little crate for all of our fertilizer in there. But yeah, got all my crops planted up. I ended up adding 2 more little crop plots here, so we have the full sort of surrounded beehive there, and then the full patch down here. You know, we could always extend this out even another one, but I kind of like having the larger walkway around it. But yeah, I'm really loving how this thing's shaped up. From this side, you know, up on top, it looks absolutely awesome. This angled sort of modern style architecture really looks cool in my opinion. We'll take a look at it from the other side as well here. Yeah, here's how it's looking from the other side. The new bridge is looking absolutely awesome there. We got the really cool facade of the building coming down into the water. Got a jaguar coming up on me. Let's just finish that guy off really quick, interrupting me while I'm enjoying the view here. But yeah, I really, really like how the greenhouse looks on top of the base there. Really pleased with how that all shaped up. Really enjoying the base here. You know, we have our nice power shack, the awesome greenhouse, the workshop, the bedroom, the new bridge all set up there. I should carve this guy up before all these other animals come and interrupt me again. A little late. But yeah, really, really digging the new base. And the brick on the barn also looks pretty good in my opinion. Really enjoying how the whole thing is starting to shape up here. You know, there's still more decorating that we can do. But for now, I think we're in a really, really good place as far as the base goes. But yeah, I think that will do it for today's episode. As always, we got a ton of work done today. Super pleased with all that we accomplished and super excited for what the future holds. So everybody, thank you as always for watching, for liking the videos, subscribing, and sticking around as I do this playthrough. It really means a lot that you're all here and watching along with me. Thank you as always for watching. And as always, before we wrap up today's episode, I have to say thank you to all of the amazing channel members. So thank you to Newly, Hein Gronwald, James Dodson, Jagged Power, Leo, Sylvan Dryad, Vivid Epiphany, Brutus, and Erai Shemeliolu. Thank you everybody for your continued support, and thank you everybody for watching today's episode. I'm super excited for the Leica update, and I hope you guys are as well. Very much looking forward to all of the new things we have in store for us, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Goodbye.